Hi, it's WolfenStormTheCastle.com, and here on YouTube you know me as Epic Fantasy, and this is my latest video. It's a diorama video. This is part 2 of the Storm the Castle diorama. You can see it right here. Kind of fun. Important stage in the design. We've done a lot of changes here, and I will, after the little intro, I'll show you a little bit about what we did and how we did it. In effect, we replaced every piece with the new ones that are going to be the final ones, because that first set was just for us to understand the layout and the design and the scale of the diorama. It's really coming out good. Really happy with it. A lot more work to do, but we'll take a quick close look and then we'll launch into the intro. So let me grab the camera. See, now we're starting to form out the gatehouse and the walk. You know, the barbican. So some of the details are starting to come out, particularly as the main structural pieces. This stairwell is pretty nice. And this is starting to look good. I love that stairwell. So yeah. And that tower is really nice. So that's it. Let's launch into the introductory video.
Dioramas, origami, catapults, and treasure stays, telescopes, terrariums, bonsai trees, and paper games, swords and shields, and real blacksmithing, rattle rockets, animation. I teach the art of real creation. StormTheCastle.com. Let's make something.
All right, let's take a look at how we're building this up. We're doing all the buildings, and for some of them that are extra large, you have to glue together several pieces of foam. So, and then you start to shape them. And we'll take a closer look at a round tower because you're probably curious about that. Get the shape of it, and then use any tools available to you. In the case here, hot wire foam cutter, to start to bring it down to shape. The key here is to go rough to more detailed, and that's in each building, and that's in the diorama overall. So see, rough. And we're going to assemble more pieces to it and glue them together. And in case of this, it's another piece of tower segment. Now the cones on the top of the towers, those are pretty interesting. You can use the same technique. You know, mark them out, glue together pieces, rough cut them first like this, with any tools you got. And I'll actually show you some different tools you can use that are kind of handy for a lot of this work in the foam. And then here's a real good tip I wanted to show you. See that? That is glue. It melted the foam. So we're going to replace that with some flex paste. Flex paste is great. It's like a glue, but it also will fill in gaps and adjust itself. It has a little bit of play in it even when it's dry. It's kind of nice. Standard diorama making material. And we actually use a lot of it on this diorama. So continue to get your details, your rough cuts, get it close. So it's starting to look like the top of a tower. And then we move on to finer tools. Some nice sandpaper here. That's a plasterer's sanding handle. And there we go. Now we got a cone. Gluing the cone on the top. We want it to hold really well, so we roughed up the top of the cone. Fits nice and it overlaps. Yeah, it overlaps the tower. That's really kind of nice. Like that. And then glue it together. You know, having a lot of fun here. It's going to be a fantastic diorama when it's done. And there you go. So, you build individual buildings that are going to be placed into the diorama, but building them also means putting together their pieces. You don't want just a bunch of blocks, square buildings. A little bit of wall segment. Just like that. All kinds of different types of foam. Same rules apply. Nice sandpaper. And then that's just about it. One more quick building here. Building and a roof. Rather than carve the building and the roof out of a single piece, build it like the real building is. There's the structure of the building, and then there's the roof. And this is actually, if I can't remember which, this might be the stables, part of the stables. And I just wanted to show you a little clip here because that's the gatehouse. The gatehouse on a castle is very important. It's very, very big, very, very strong and solid. So that's what that building is. We'll just continue to build each building. Now, a couple of tools you might want to know about. A woodworking rasp is terrific for foam. And of course, your saws. So, you know, improvise. If you're going to make castles, improvise and you know, use all kinds of tools. Once the buildings are all done, we start working on some details. This is a very long staircase along the side of the gatehouse. So we cut that out. And here's a gable on top of a smaller building. So we're starting to move into intermediate details, but this is still rough shaping everything. Now here, this is an important point I wanted to make here. The diorama is way too big, so we broke it up into sections. This is the castle section. So we laid out the foam exactly in the right shape that we needed, and we'll attach everything to that, and then we can put this on the diorama. And of course, again, flex paste to put our pieces together. But see how it's two levels? We got the lower pink level, that's the outer courtyard, and then we get the higher pink level, that's the inner courtyard. It's a very important castle point. You want consecutive lines of defense. So the attacking enemy has to go into one concentric ring, and they still have to get through another one yet. And then that big 3 foam section is the keep. That's the last line of defense. It's the biggest and strongest building. So now we're building our walls and our towers to get them all the way around. And if you notice there was a little man. You always have to keep checking your scale to make sure everything's right. And the little men are our way of doing it. Gatehouse is coming along. It's looking good. See, they'll be able to walk up there. And those little holes, I'll show you a little bit more about that, are murder holes. In this gatehouse section, that's a place where you could trap your enemy. They broke through the front gate and they're still stuck inside that little section. So they had these things called murder holes, so you could fire arrows or throw boiling oil down on them in that little area in the gatehouse. There's the murder holes. And those will get assembled right onto that. Can you see? The enemy would, the defender would stand on that wall and shoot down through those slots. Very nasty business. Castles were for a reason. Keep checking your scale, make sure everything looks good, and it does look good. That's a good size for our figures. All right, more details works. We're almost done here. Thanks for sticking with me. More detail works. I wanted to show this because you can make templates to get your sizes right. See, draw yourself out some templates. These crenellations around the bottom, around the part of the tower, we want them all to be uniform, so we use a template to make them all the same. So then they get attached like that. That's it. Start rough, start to get a little more detailed, and then start moving down to your details. Our framework for our castle is almost done. The various buildings and towers are in place. The next part is going to be a lot of fun. Just wanted to take a look at it where it stands right now. You're going to see this thing is going to be amazing pretty soon. We'll see what the next installment brings. Stick with me. If you're a subscriber, thank you very much. Thanks for watching this video. If you're not a subscriber, think about it if you want to keep updated on this project. Here's 2 other videos. On the top is part 1, so you can see where the whole thing started on paper. And down below is a small 1 video tutorial on how to make a little foam castle like that. It really looks terrific.